Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu Norito and Miroku prayer. Please stand.
Kamahara ni kanzumarimasu. Haramuragi kamuragi no mikoto mochite. Sumemi oya kamu isanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himuka no tachi hana no. Odo no ahagi haragi misogi harai tamo. Toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono kami tachi moro moro no magagoto tsumi kerareo. Harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshio. Amatsu kami unitsu kami aoyoro suno kami tachi tomo ni. Ame no fuji koma no mimi furitatete. Ikoshime seto kashikomi mo maosu. Hiroku nikami amori tamae saki hae tamae. Hiroku o nikami amori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami. Amori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami. Amori tamae saki hae tamae. Amnagara tamachi haemase. Amnagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving your rain. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group jury. Jury is now concluded. We now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. World peace. When the hearts of all people are in harmony with the heart of God, it will mark the beginning of a truly peaceful world. Our colors and features differ. However, in the eyes of God, we are one, all children of His great kingdom. When everyone prays together for peace and joy, all the world's misfortunes and disasters will disappear. Imagine, if you will, a great painter about to create another masterpiece. This is the greatest painter of all, and the creation is to be titled Earth. The picture he's going to paint will show the perfection with which he creates all of his works. He will express his beauty using the infinite variety of colors he himself has mixed. The most important lines are those he draws in the beginning, the outlines of continents and oceans, and then the boundaries between countries, so each one can have its own individual color. The great painting is skillfully drawn and colored in delightfully different pigments, each unlike each other, yet all blending into that completely harmonious perfection for which he is known. This is the great art of God, and it symbolizes his creation of the world. The variety of colors represents the individual purposes for which God created each country. Each one has a specific mission to accomplish, just as does each person. Ignorance to this truth has caused the terrible confusion and conflict with which the world still suffers. One country, considering its own color best, tries to repaint the rest of the world in that one color, something that can never be done successfully since it is not according to God's design. Someday, when every country learns that peace is the only way of life, this will become one world under one God, with all parts working together in their individual ways for the common good. When it becomes a reality, paradise on earth will have been completed, and the great painter's masterpiece will be perfect as he created it to be.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of Miroku Association headquarters. Peace is the only way, as Meishu-sama taught us in this teaching, world peace. When I was in training, we were in eight individuals. And when you live in a group for some extended period of time, normally there are differences in personality, tastes. So of the eight, one in particular, I didn't have that strong affinity. And somehow God in Meishu-sama wanted to impose a training on both of us because we end up being roommates for as long as I can remember, for about at least 3 years. Whether it was in Japan, whether it was in Brazil, we were always roommates. So we had to put our differences at test. And that culminated when we were both assigned to the north of Brazil upon our return from Japan. And we had to travel in a bus for 42 hours, sitting side by side. So what became a very happy story afterwards because we were both then isolated, almost isolated from the rest of Brazil in our assigned joy centers. So we only had each other to count on. So after 3 years of a relative conflict that we existed between us, so then we became friends because we had to call each other, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm here, isolated in my area, and you are there, isolated in your area. So I felt that was interesting how God in Meishu-sama wanted to train both of us to learn to respect others with their differences. So this is just a small example when we work to avoid conflict and to create peace is our individual contribution for world peace. Another experience I had, and that's more recent, when we used to have our headquarters in New Jersey, I would commute from New York to New Jersey taking a bus. So one day there was a change in the schedule, and I was asking the driver, uh, I want to make sure that the bus I was taking would lead to my destination. And he was very aggressive to me. It was just a simple question. And I think he had a bad night of sleep, and he probably was throwing all his frustrations on me. Maybe my immediate reaction would be to say something to him that he had to be a better professional, that he shouldn't treat the passengers with disrespect and whatnot. But I swallowed the whatever I could say to him. And interestingly enough, 2 weeks past this event, I bumped into the same driver, but this time he was in a good mood. Good morning. Welcome to New Jersey Transit. Hope you have a wonderful day. You know what? Amazing. It was the same person. One day was in such a bad mood and was depositing all that frustration on a stranger like me, and the other day he was happy. But I felt it was good that I didn't react on that first happenstance, because that could have created more conflict. Maybe he would remember my face. Oh, you guys, you said something to me. So this is of course, a very small example. But when we work to create harmony around us, not to engage in conflict, not be machinating or thinking, what can I create that will be conflict instead of promoting peace. So that's something that we can all do. So when we think in a bigger scale about wars and whatnot, to what extent my actions, my words are helping to create spiritual clouds, and eventually they will materialize as wars around the world. So if my action will promote peace, then it will be also my individual contribution. Today, I would like to share a faith experience that was shared in our church, our Jorei movement in Brazil, and it's posted on their website. It's from Marcos Gazzoli. It's from Vitória, Brazil, and goes like this. I'm 58 years old and have been a Jorei member for 29 years. I have a 27-year-old son who suffers from psychomotor and learning difficulties. For this reason, he attends a specialized school. Towards the end of 2019, he started to show aggressive behavior towards his mother and me. The situation got worse and our coexistence became practically unsustainable. My wife was nervous and exhausted, not knowing what else to do as she spent her entire days with him. I wasn't having time to devote myself to my family due to my workload. I owned a convenience store and worked around 14 hours a day, being absent from the store only to attend monthly services and church dedications. Around this time, we were preparing to have the dedication of our home altar, and in February 2020, our minister visited us to indicate the best location for the altar. She recommended that we thoroughly clean our home, especially the backyard, getting rid of everything that was no longer used. At the same time, she instructed us to intensify the channeling of Jorei to our son, which we had not been doing daily. We intensified the channeling of Jorei, but I wonder how I would do the cleaning dedication since I didn't have enough time. About a month later, we were quarantined due to the pandemic, and with that, I had to close my store. Having the time I needed, we did a thorough cleanup inside our home in the backyard with the feeling of polishing our soul and generating light to purify the spiritual atmosphere of our surroundings. We watched the morning and evening online services studied the divine writings of Meishu-sama's teachings, and offered our daily donation of gratitude. In about 30 days, our son showed amazing improvement. He became calmer and stopped having aggressive attacks. With that, harmony returned to our family. I made the decision to get rid of the convenience store and live only on retirement in order to have more time available for family and for dedications in the divine work. Amazingly, my financial condition improved considerably as I stopped having the expenses the business normally brought me and began to better manage my income. In December 2020, we were given the great permission to have the divine scroll dedicated in our home. We now carry out daily prayers as a family, and on the day of our home monthly service, our son makes a point of wearing his best clothes to participate in it. I thank God, Meishu-sama, and my ancestors for allowing me to realize paradise at home through service done sincerely to the divine work. My commitment is to dedicate as a family assistant with the aim of contributing to the formation of an increasing number of paradise-like homes. Thank you very much. Nice experience regarding paradise-like homes. We have Paradise on Earth service that is tomorrow 11 a.m. I want to invite you to watch our service online, and if you are living locally, you can come and participate in person or invite friends and family that live around New York and region, Metro New York area, to attend our service. It will be a pleasure to receive us in this very significant and important service. Hope to see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed day.